constantly with the people, and it's like, wait a second, let's change this narrative. Let's say, yeah, let's bring these guys on board because you guys are the new stars. Like, you're really showing people, like, you know, you're giving up. Okay, there's a price to pay for the fame, though. Right, you're going to give up a little bit of something.
Sacrifice.
People think, right? But at the same time, you're giving up so much education, so much free game.
You're creating hope.
And you're changing people's lives by creating hope.
You know what it is, man? We are the culture. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are from New York. We grew up.
There's a business side of what I wanted to talk about with Earn Your Leisure and yourself, because like you said, he said, oh, you're watching, but there's still more inside of that. He didn't, like, you live and exist with your business.
Correct.
You own.
Correct.
Inside of Earn Your Leisure.
Correct. So I have my mortgage stuff that I do, which, you know, I eat off of that.
Sure.
When it comes to, you know, Earn Your Leisure University, that's our online platform. We got 13,000 active students currently, which is phenomenal. That business has been going since 2019 right now, and steady growing.
And what do students learn at
everything.
Online? It's an online university.
So it's an online financial literacy community. So basically the whole format behind everything, and I'll break down the business aspect of everything, right? So Earn Your Leisure, and this is how we look at everything. Earn Your Leisure, the show, Troy and Rashad, right? And Mike, who's behind the scenes.
Yeah, and Mike's
right?
behind the scenes. Shout out Mike.
Shout out to Mike.
Absolutely.
That's the head, right?
That's the core.
That's the core. That's Voltron. You know what I'm saying? Like, the bigger Earn Your Leisure the show gets, the philosophy was everything else will fall in line and grow with it.
Sure will.
So when it comes to Earn Your Leisure, picture that's the head. Then you got EYL University, that's another arm. You got InvestFest now, that's another arm. You got the Real Estate Expo, that's the chest, right? Then you got the trucking business. You got the real estate. Then you got all these. You got EYL Network now, right? So you have all these different pieces of the puzzle
as
that
my
comes
man
together.
Jeff Arnold said, he calls it the hub and spokes. So they're the hub.
Absolutely.
And all these spokes are coming out.
Absolutely.
Around, and then the spokes could be infinite. It never
Absolutely.
ends. And that's what
we
you represent.
and we push that. Yeah. Right? Like, I don't have ownership in Earn Your Leisure. There's businesses that they do that I make no money off, but I push it like it's my business. Like the merch, the assets over liabilities. I wear that faithfully.
Me too.
Right? I have no ownership in that business, but it's my business. It has to do well. Because if it don't do well, then that means I'm not going to do well. It's the branding.
The branding of Voltron.
Exactly.
And that mindset is what is very important and why it's successful, because without you having that mindset, as well as the other spokes that are inside of that hub, right, on that hub, it won't be as successful. It needs you to help push it without worrying about it's mine.
Correct.
In that sense.
Correct.
And that is, to me, like, when I look at these guys today, that's probably a downfall of why things fail, because everyone is thinking about one thing instead of a bigger picture.
Agreed.
And when I hear you talk, you're talking about the bigger picture, and that's what it is.
It's all bigger picture, Chris, man. Like, it's no ego in this.
No ego.
It's no ego in this, man. I don't got time for no ego.
Everybody eats.
Everybody eats, B. And that's a fact. Everybody eats. Everybody that's in the Earn Your Leisure circumference, the bubble, right?
Sure.
Everybody has a role to play. Everybody has a job. You know, most of the people that work for the companies are people that we know personally on personal relationships. Half of it is their family.
You know, right? It's funny because they didn't know you.
No. I was a stranger.
Family.
I'm the long lost cousin.
But all of them, right? I believe pretty much most of the people he has, that's how he met them, through social media.
So when it
reached out,
the core though, like Mike, Troy, and Rashad, they grew up together. It's 25, 30 years. It's the core, you know. AB, they see the CEO, you know what I mean? Abdullah, he's been with Troy for forever.
Sure.
Right? You got Jamal, you got Bam, who's Mike's brother. All these guys have been around. That's their family.
Right.
And then when I came into the fold, it was like, yo, this is our cousin.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's right. He blends in and it works, right? The synergy, because the synergy couldn't just work with me and Rashad.
Right.
It had to work with me and Troy. It had to work with me and Mike.
Sure.
We all have to be on the same page. And even everybody else, I have to be embedded with them too, because it wouldn't work if these two like me, but everybody else hate my guts. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I have to be able to love them like I've known them my whole life too. That's my family. Those are my brothers.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm clear. And when I'm around you, I feel that energy with everybody.
100%. And you've been around us so many times.
Yeah,
we outside.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We have a great
but
time.
I see it. And again, one day we was at Tao. That day at Tao, and I just seen the stress on Troy that night.
That was a lot of people at
It was
Tao
a
that
lot
night.
of
It was a
people at
lot of
Tao.
people that night.
Me personally, coming from Murder Inc. and all those things, I'm used to it. I'm acclimated to it. I understand. And I went to him and I told him, I said, this is part of it.
Yeah. It was a lot of people that night.
What's that expression? Much is given, much is required.
Yes.
So it's like, I understand, and I let him know whatever part you want me to play for you, I'll do it. It's no issues. Don't get stressed. This is really a celebration.
Yeah,
You know?
it was definitely a celebration.
But it's, when you go out with those large groups, you get a lot of people that you don't even know inside of it.
100%.
And you're dealing with it.
But you know what? That's also learning lessons for us too, because we have such big hearts.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes we don't want to turn down nobody.
Right.
But now we had to learn, like, nah, these dinner bills get crazy. Like, they get crazy. Motherfuckers be ordering, like, are you pulling out your
They're
card?
gonna stop you from earning your leisure.
Nah, we're not trying to stop us from earning our leisure.
When the waitress comes, everyone looks at you guys and says, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Where's your card at? And leave. Or they leave before.
Oh, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta
all
go.
the time.
My Uber's outside. Thank you.
But that happens. But and I think, look, that's even with anything in life. Once you start going through certain journeys like this, there's no education behind this.
Yeah.
Right? People who have went through this, especially let's call a spade. When we're dealing with the music industry, you guys have seen this firsthand 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but we didn't have no reference to learn from that because we're looking from the outside looking in, so we don't really know. So now as
There's
we
an
go
adjustment point that you guys have to get used to.
It's already adjusted. Let me tell you, that shit is adjusted.
Yeah. They made their adjustments.
We made our adjustments because it's not sustainable.
But when I look at the financial space you guys are in, all the different verticals, right? It never was being done this way for us. And that's one of the things I look at so important is because this vertical that I see in the financial space is really for us, and they're educating us for the first time in this capacity. These older guys, and I'm an older guy, but I'm still young in the mind, right? And mentally, I never want to be old in the mind. I want to always understand.
That's most important.
Yeah, it's about staying relevant today, and the reality is the young run the world.
Facts.
And if we don't understand that, we'll get left behind. We'll be the odd man out. So what I mean by that is they're out educating the youth in a way that they can accept it, learn it, and get it. And that is so powerful. And I love to see it because if I use music, there would be older guys in music that made us say or tell us we can't do things and kind of restrict us, to which we was very rebellious, right? And I see that same rebellious side of them in what they're doing in their financial literacy. It's very funny because I always tell Rashad and Troy, I say, don't change. I tell them all the time, if I see you doing the deals that, because you don't have to. Yeah. With these corporations that want a certain agenda, I'm going to let you know that that's not right. I'm going to be on your ass. I tell them every time I see them because that's how big they're getting, and I know the pressure that comes from that. See, we never wavered. I never bent. Irv never bent. We didn't waver. You could do everything you want, the way you want, how you want for your people. They got to live and deal with it. That's where they're at. That's the place they're at. I just don't want to see them doing things with corporations because of a check. Yeah, and the check is coming regardless. You can't stop it.
And to speak on that a little bit deeper, right? The great thing about us and the movement right now is that we don't have to do deals we don't like, right? Because from a financial perspective, we've all made smart, wise investments and financial decisions.
See, you mentioned you're saying a word. So we're moving into an era the last 4 or 5 years that vocabulary has changed. So we've been introduced to likes, comments, TikTok, right? It's different words, but there's a word that you guys are changing that I've heard a lot of in the music and in the sports industry. A lot of young men go from nothing and become millionaires right away. And there's a word that now you guys are starting to use that we would use before, and the word before was, if I get $100,000, $1 million, how can I spend it? Now the word is, how can I invest it?
Yeah.
He said, we've made the right investments.
Of course.
When we were coming up, we've been in the music for 20 years. When we get that first check, what did we do with our first check?
Oh, we fucked it up.
We spent it. No, but listen to this. We spent it. Because,
but it was a hell of a time,
though.
though.
You know why? Because yesterday we were talking to an NBA ball player. And
Sebastian.
he was talking about a check.
Telfair,
yeah,
man.
but listen, he was
Great.
talking about a check that he was supposed to get, and I think it was Adidas. Like he goes, man, I could have spent that. You know, they would have.
Yeah, he said I could have spent
it, but
That's what he said.
but in the way I get the mentality because we're, nowadays because of the education, when some of these young athletes get an extra 100,000 from an endorsement, 200,000, they try to invest it now. You understand because they're trying to learn how to invest. Before, let me go buy the chain. Let me go buy. So the aspect of you guys educating.
You ain't gonna stop my fun, Dinero.
Man, we still gonna get legal. What I mean is, hey, what's the first thing they did? They got EYL chains. Let's keep it up. We're not gonna stop. That's the culture. What I mean is, that's the last thing you do.
Yeah.
You know, this
now it's like before, and then another thing that we go through in the black and the brown community. See, another thing I had with Sebastian. I said, Sebastian, you got drafted in 13th pick in the first round. I said out of all, what is it, 30 draft picks in the NBA? There's 30 teams, right?
It's 32 now.
32. So let's say 32 out of 32 first round draft picks. There's about, I would say, 28 African Americans.
Yeah.
Maybe out of the 4 white, Lithuanian, whatever the hell.
Yeah.
How many of the white athletes, NBA, NFL, have you ever seen them when they get their check that they have to run and buy their mama a house and a car? I'll wait. The money doesn't roll up. See, when we get money, who we have to save?
Everybody.
We got to go up. Mommy and daddy first.
Everybody.
Jesus and Moses
Right,
has
but
to save
you notice how they're set up.
Yeah.
That kid who went to college, who might have got the NFL scholarship, already had a little college fund put away. Oh, you got the scholarship here. You can keep that money, Bobby. Or you can. Our money, when we get it, is, all right, now we got to help mommy and daddy first. We got to help Theo Pacho. We got to help Theo Pacho. Yo, hey, listen. Little Bobby's coming home in 3 years doing a bid. We got to help
sure little Bobby's good.
Listen, we got to help everybody. So when I heard you say, we're not doing that no more, was, not that you were good, you're trying to help people. So what's an extra meal on the table? Next thing you know, what's an extra 4 people? Next thing you know, every 3 days it's an extra 1,500.
What? 1,500 is light.
Man, no, every day
they wish it was 1,500. They wouldn't complain.
No, what I mean is every day it's an extra 1,500 at the table. An extra. Next you know, you just spent 13,000 at the end of the month for people you didn't even know.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I think when, especially black and brown, when we get money, it's easy to spend. Right, because
we've been taught to spend.
We've been taught to spend. We've been taught to be consumers. And look, we're gonna fuck up some money.
I think it's deeper than just being taught to spend. Guys, personally,
that's dope. What you think?
Again, we've been down so long. We've seen
it's
about. It's really a mind. It's a mentality.
Yeah.
I had a conversation. I told him I had this conversation because I want to be one of the people to talk to all the NBA players coming in, the new players. I would do the NFL as well. They're running into this wealth. And they don't, you hear the stories of after they're out of their league, they're 4 years later, they're flipped upside down broke. And again, and people say, how did they do it? I'm like, it's not hard.
It's not hard.
It's not hard.
It's not hard at all.
It's not hard.
But it's like you just don't understand. And it's that mindset that you are developed from watching the struggle of your peers, your family, everyone. The stories you get growing up, we all get them. See, that's
Chris,
the part.
And not having the financial literacy
understand.
either. And not having the financial literacy.
And not having the resources as you're growing up, too. I think everything plays a part, but I can speak for just, me and what I see with my team is like when we first started really, really making a lot of money, it's like, yo, you want to celebrate life. Like, you celebrate life, you go to the club, you do this and blah, blah, blah. But after some time, you just like the light bulb just goes off.
So now imagine you're an athlete, though. See,
that getting 10 times more.
10 times more, but you worked your whole life to get to that point.
It's your dream.
To get to that point.
Exactly.
Where now you get this check, and now you could actually do whatever the fuck you want.
Because now you're getting 10, 20 M's a clip.
Exactly.
That's a different type of money.
Yeah.
You know, so
that's the challenge that we have in the education. That's why I love their university, their education side, because they have to educate. That's your job, really.
Yeah,
Part of it. What you're doing here is you're educating about loans, and you could get it. Look, what did you say? 580 for this one, 630,
620
for this one.
Yeah.
Those are big things that, from an education standpoint, that if we understood. I have 5 sisters, right? It's 8 of us. I got 2 brothers, 5 sisters. So I always talk to my sisters. They're all older than me. They didn't understand Robinhood, the theory that they could be investing $100, $20. They never did it.
Yeah.
They only saved money traditionally in their savings account, and that's it. And they all worked good jobs and have their little savings, and there's nothing wrong with it. They might have their homes and they paid their mortgage, but they didn't do nothing but
else,
traditional thinking, nothing else. And now in their 60s, they're sitting in their late 50s and 60s, they're realizing that they could do so much more because I'm giving them the information.
And it's never too late.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. As long as you got breath in your body, you have an opportunity to turn your life around. And you have an opportunity to invest. And that's one thing like with us, and this is why we share so much information, is that we want our people to be successful no matter what age group. We got 18-year-olds in our university, and we got 65, 70-years in our university.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. And what we try to tell people
that's hip-hop, just so you know.
That's a fact. And what we try to tell people, look, we are the culture. Like I said, we are hip-hop.
Yes.
We eat, sleep, shit.
What you
hip hop, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna, when you get money, you're gonna want to have your bling, but we like to call it wearable assets, right? So we're gonna buy
wearable assets.
Wearable assets, right? So we're gonna buy Rolexes
and don't ice them out.
We're going if they got diamonds, it's factories, Rolex diamonds.
Okay,
right?
There
and
it
we,
is.
And we
That's
only,
educating.
And we only buy from authorized dealers, right? Because we collectors.
There it is.
So right, everybody in my crew who purchases Rolexes, it's not from a jeweler. It's from the authorized dealer, and it's all factory, and it's all worth more than what we're paying for. Every single
Jacob
one.
wasn't the authorized jeweler. Jacob the jeweler.
You know, But
shout out Jacob.
Shout out Jacob. Yo. But that's what
he held his head.
That's another story. That's another story. He definitely did.
He held his head, yo.
He definitely did.
Documentary coming soon.
Yeah. But that's when, if you're going to spend money on jewelry, just be smart about how you're going to spend the money. Make sure you're buying an asset and not a liability. And that's what we've adapted our lifestyle
now here
to.
again, you blow through words. I'm very particular with words. Assets and liabilities. Can we break that down? Like if we're talking to a 5th grader, because it's words that we use all the time, but most people will be like,
so in layman's terms,
what is a liability?
Hold on now, see, and this is something else because you're a loan, a mortgage for loans and mortgages, right? And that is a liability.
Correct.
That's not the asset.
Correct.
Okay.
So all right, there's good debt and there's bad debt.
Yeah.
Right? Mortgage is good debt in my opinion.
In your opinion.
Because it helps you build wealth. Now, some will say if you buy a single family home, it's not an asset, it's a liability because you have to pay the mortgage. The mortgage is not paying you.
It's not an asset until you finish paying.
It's not an asset.
Or until you pull money from it. If you sold it, then it's your asset.
Because you got the equity.
Because you have the equity. But until then,
but what if you bought a single family
asset.
home that was run down, you put a little money to fix it, now you can borrow against the...
It's an asset. Like see, for me, I look at it differently, right?
No, as a single family home, yes.
How much money did you, again, the way you would look at it, again, if you talk to someone that's just financial, not a loan. See, he's giving you his opinion, but it's still, until you got the money out of it, it's not an asset. It's still
technically, anything that you have to pay for is a liability out of your pocket. Yes. Anything that pays you is an asset, right? So can your home be an asset? Absolutely, if you pull equity out of it, if you're house hacking your house, right? So with the technology that we have with this phone right now, you can Airbnb your house, right? You can rent out your basement. Hell, if you got a pool, you can rent out your pool.
If it's a rental apartment, then it turns into an asset.
It's an asset,
and again,
because
technically it's an asset once you get back what you put in it.
What you put into it.
It's still a liability until you get it all out.
Them cars we pay them payments every month, liability.
A car could be an asset.
Turo or something and rent it out.
You put it on Turo, something like that.
The apartment house you got right now that your daughter lives in one, a liability because we're paying. We're not getting
liabilities.
Yeah, I'm saying because we're paying out, but at the same time,
all around.
When they build equity, you could pull out an asset. So we're trying to explain to the people. So an asset, basically, let me get this right. So if I go ahead and I have an apartment, I rent an apartment out, and I'm paying my monthly rent. liability. But if I take that same apartment and I turn it into an Airbnb, and now that apartment, my rent is $1,000, but I'm making $2,000 a month.
It's an asset.
It's an asset.
What if
Correct.
you take that same apartment, make it your office?
It's just a deduction, though.
But
At the end
that,
of the
but,
year.
but
The
that,
business is paying for
the
it.
business is paying for
It's
it.
paying
And
for
now,
it.
now it helps the business.
Right, so that would be something. I'm saying then it turns into an asset.
That's an asset. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I'm just trying to explain.
And
more or
that's why
less.
I'm saying is if you
It's just
get
the
a,
way you structure.
it's all on
Right.
how you structure everything.
Yeah.
Even your primary house that you live in, you can get cash flow coming to that house.
Yes.
Right. If, like you said, if you have a home office, guess what? You can deduct some of that.
Yes.
Right. If you Airbnb, if you rent out your rooms, I know people that.
So the guys right now that have these girls and they're buying them all these purses and all these things and taking them out, liability, right?
Yeah, unless they take it all back.
Depends on.
Hey.
No. Let me say this though.
So
Let me
if
say
you're
this
tricking
though.
on a girl, that's a liability.
If you
If
buy
you-
her a car,
Hold on. If you tricking
Take
on
it
the
back.
wrong girl,
yeah.
if you're tricking on the wrong girl,
yes.
then it's a liability.
The
but,
right one is
but the
gonna help
right
you
one,
make
that's an
more.
investment into her. So if she's pouring back into you,
So how
It's gonna
many
come back.
liabilities
That's a
are you
fact.
going
It
to
comes
go
back.
through? How many liabilities are you going to go through before you realize you have
well,
an
that's
asset?
that's why you gotta have
Hey,
discernment.
do the mitigating
You know what I'm saying?
factors.
You gotta have
hey,
discernment,
do
brother.
The mitigating factors outweigh the aggregating factors.
I'm just saying, bro. You gotta have discernment at that point and make sure you're not blowing. What Jay said, you can't blow all your money on hotties.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying the rules have been written forever.
Because they become liabilities.
They become a liability at that point, but you know it ain't tricking if you got it too.
True, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey,
but
absolutely.
if you're spending it to the right woman,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that, fellas. So don't be cheap.
You're
Don't
going to
be
make your
cheap.
mistakes,
Don't be
guys.
cheap. Don't be cheap,
She
fellas.
concurs.
Don't be cheap. I'm trying to tell you, don't be cheap,
She's
man.
like, don't be
Yeah.
cheap.
Don't be cheap, because if it's the right
Bastards.
woman, if it's the right woman, then
Hey.
why not?
Yeah.
Spread love. Make
Yeah,
sure she
for
good.
sure.
Hey,
sure.
listen.
And if she not, then don't waste your
You
time.
ain't getting no cheese on
Exactly.
your burger on the first date. I'm just letting you know that right now.
No cheese on the cheeseburger.
No cheese on the burger first date. You're going to have to earn that, baby.
Come on, man.
Oh,
So you just give it all up. Cheese and everything, huh?
cheese.
Double
It's only
cheeseburger
cheese.
too, Chris.
What are we saying?
Goddamn.
Cut it and slice it thin.
I'll be like, hey,
No,
you hungry,
we was
baby?
talking on the
Hey,
way
you
up.
hungry, baby? Let's go bodega. Let me get a dollar cheese,
worth
dollar
of
ham.
cheese.
Get a chopped
And then you
cheese.
tell her that cut it thin.
You know what's crazy that we're East Coast
That's the
guys.
era I'm from.
Hey,
So
hey,
you
hey,
cut
let
it
me
thin.
tell you, hey,
Go
let
to
me tell
the-
you, we talk about women from an East Coast mentality. So let's go AG Cubano, my West Coast guys. So
putting
in the
paint
West
where it
Coast, in
ain't.
the Bay, putting paint where it ain't, they look for girls the opposite. If you spend money on a girl in the Bay, you're a sucker.
See,
They
it's
look
all
for
where you
girls
come from.
who got the money, and,
and-
when you talk to
and-
the girls, they be like,
I got you.
They want to get that dude, and how they get the dude is not just physical. Be like, I got that bag for you too, Poppy.
They taking
Right,
care of
and
home.
I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like that. I think I got a
He's
little
ready to
West
move
Coast
out
in me.
there.
I got a little
Yeah,
West
I
Coast.
think I
in
like
me.
that too.
Yo,
Why
listen,
wouldn't we like that?
Listen,
Putting
now,
paint
hey,
where it
That's not no New York Queen
imagine
shit
the
though.
shorty show up.
No
Imagine
Queen
the
shit.
shorty show up on the first date and says, Papi, I got a bag for you. You got a bag for me. That's how you trying to show my love. Oh, baby,
man.
you trying to earn my love with a bag?
She's trying to earn. She's trying to earn your love. Earn your leisure.
Earn your love.
Earn your
Earn your
leisure.
love.
Hey,
That's a
earn
whole
your
nother
love.
podcast.
Word. That isn't a whole nother podcast.
Hey,
It's
the new
already copyrighted.
Hey, Chris, earn your love. We start at 2 in the morning. The new podcast.
Nah.
Man.
Different strokes for different folks.
Hey, man, listen. At the end of
You know
the
what I
day,
mean?
you said it's money. Again, I'm a type of person. The irony is my name is Don Dinero. But I look at money as a tool. You know, I don't.
Facts.
Chris and I have been, I think, two things are tools. Human beings respect money and violence. If you pull out a gun, everybody runs. If you pull out money, everybody comes closer, right?
It's a fact.
But if you eliminate those two things, then what do you have in a human being, right? If there's no, and that's kind of what we look for in people. Like me, myself, in my journey, I look for people where, yeah, we live in this capitalistic society. We need to earn $1. But are you a good person? Are you a good father? Do you keep your word? You feel me? Can I count on you when you told me it's 6:30
Exactly.
and you're running late? Are you gonna call me and say, "Look, I'm gonna be"? I cost my man, right? That's my brother. I don't have to call them. I go run late. Nah, I respect. Like, we still after all the years, I'm like, Chris, what time you say again? 6:30. GPS says I'll be at 6:39.
He said, I didn't know it was today.
Yeah, I was messing with him. He said, come on. Yeah, I had to fuck with him. I said, let me fuck with him. I said, oh, it's today. I do that. I go and tell you see those big bills? I'll go to the waitress when she shows up with the big bill and be like, well, I got to pay today? I got to pay right now? But what I'm saying is it's about people. At the end of the day, when I see the relationship you and you guys have,
And they're
it's
helping people.
Yeah, the wonderful thing about it is giving. I think that at the end of the day, you're judged by when they put dirt on your box, is anyone going to hang a picture of you on their wall? Mm-hmm. Did you do enough for human beings to help them, right? So I think that from a mortgage standpoint, I'm pretty sure people have loved you because you were able to get them their first house.
Absolutely.
That's
Maybe
fulfilling
get
their
them out
dream.
the-
Yeah.
It's helping
So
their dream.
you don't understand the energy that may be why you guys are being so blessed. I look at it like that, man, you guys must have always done their business right because this big blessed. So you guys didn't just get blessed. This is a huge blessing.
You know what
because
it is?
You're leading a movement. So
agree.
those people in that circle that you guys have to be good people. You can't, you know what I'm saying, to get, now what happens now, you guys will be tested.
Yes.
I'm telling you, you will be tested, you will grow. I'll be honest with you, I can't tell you everyone's gonna stay in the same position because growth, and not that you're gonna have problems, I'm just saying growth, but I think that you're living the greatest moment right now, but there's more things to come, but it has to do with good people.
Absolutely.
You know,
the one thing we pride ourselves on is good energy.
That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying? And having people around us that are filled with good energy and good intentions. Because not everybody's intentions are pure.
Yeah.
For us, and I speak for myself right now, I think everything that I've been through in my career, that mess has become my message today. And it prepared me for everything that I went through, the trials, the tribulations, everything prepared me for the positions that God put me in place today to be able to have these type of conversations and reach millions of people. And now I speak to, I'm 44 years old. Like, I'm OG to a lot of these people.
Yeah,
Of course.
So when I remember when I came in the game, I didn't have no mentors. I didn't have no one to look up to. I didn't have no one in this industry that looked like me that would give me the shortcuts and give me the game and the help. Right? So that way
we all need it.
We all need help, right? And I was never been a person that's too prideful to ask for it, right? But the people that looked like me didn't want to help me because they looked at me as competition because I was hungry.
Right.
And for me, what I try to do is lead with great intentions for complete strangers, right? Because I know if I lead with good intentions to you, and I know what I'm speaking about every day is wealth building.
Yeah.
Right? It's buying real estate, investing in real estate. Don't be house rich, cash poor. Don't over leverage yourself. Make sure you have reserves, right? This is my language. This is what I'm speaking because that was part of my mess when I lost everything, right? I didn't know. I was young, dumb, and full of cum. I had no clue. So now I believe that we are in the right positions at the right time, and this is where we're all supposed to be. And that's why I think even when you look at everybody from a 19 Keys, a Him 500 to everybody that's in our circle, that's part of the network, we all come from different places, different backgrounds, different upbringings, but it's now we form like Voltron.
Yeah.
And now we're just out here at a very high level, just trying to educate the masses at scale. Now it's become global. Yeah. Like, it's incredible. It's
global.
It's like, literally, this shit is crazy right now. We be in London and people running me down in the streets like, yo, mortgage guy, I love you. I'm like, how do you know me, bruv? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, how do you know me?
That's a blessing.
And like, I'm on billboards in London.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to me.
I'm
a loan officer, Chris. Like,
no, you're more than that.
But I'm more than that.
You're
Definitely.
more than
I'm
that.
an international speaker, best-selling author, right? Like, I'm an
Yes.
entrepreneur, investor, like #1 black real estate podcast in the world. Like, I'm so many more things than just being a loan officer, but the origin of everything always comes back.
The core.
The core of me is the mortgage guy. Right, so this is why online I can talk about so many different things that I'm doing, but no, I keep it strictly to the thing that got me to the place that I am right now.
Right.
I could talk about my investment properties. I could talk about the money we're making and all this other foolishness.
Yeah.
No, I'm keeping it strictly to the mortgages because that's my calling. That's my passion.
That's the core.
That's what I'm supposed to be doing. Nothing more, nothing else. You want to learn about mortgages, real estate financing, whether it's a primary resident, investment properties, you want to do commercial, whatever it is from a financing perspective, I'm your guy. You want to learn how to be the investor? Go see DJ Envy and them. Go see this person over here. These are my guys. They invest. I vouch for them. They'll teach you how to be a good landlord or teach you how to be a good flipper and stuff like that.
Sure.
I'm going to teach you how to get the funding. And I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to stay in my lane, and I'm going to be the best that I can be in my lane. And that's all I try to do is be better than I was yesterday.
Man, that's
every
great.
single day, bro.
Dope.
That's great. How do I go from there? That's I don't know if I should move further from there. That's strong.
We
man.
here.
So let me ask a question again. Where you are currently, my question would be, what's next? What do you see as the next move, the next progression to move forward?
The next move, the next progression. First of all, just keep.
I know you said you're staying there, but is there another level to this? Again, and you know when you do loans, right? Because everyone wants to get a home, own a home.
Absolutely.
Everybody wants to own a home. They just may not know how to go about it. They may not have enough resources to be set up. They may not know about the those different programs that can help them or assist them. And that's really the beauty of why I say what you're doing is so powerful, because you're actually opening those doors up to make more people know that they could actually accomplish the American dream, is to own a home.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the dreams when you're born in this country, to own your own home.
Absolutely.
And get into that space. And you're helping them from that standpoint because of the marketing and promoting of it.
Absolutely.
Is there another level, another gear to shift to?
Absolutely. There's always another level, right? And I think for me, one of my goal was never to own a mortgage bank, right? I never cared for it because of the regulations and the risk. And I can make more money in my position now than the owner can. Mm-hmm. But traveling the country and now traveling the world and seeing how my message has impacted so many people, it's bigger than me now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now I think from a legacy standpoint, how can I submit my legacy is by starting a black-owned mortgage bank. Right?
A black-owned mortgage bank.
Yes.
This is the second part to this question I was going to ask you, because my mind naturally goes into, I'm always thinking outside the box, and I'm like, could you structure, again, where you're loaning and you're the loan.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's going out to these people. And you put your criteria of what they have to do, just like these other institutions do. And then financially, and that's you own that loan as well.
Absolutely.
How many loans go bad?
A lot.
But a lot. When they go bad, is the institution losing or not?
Depends.
Because they still have an asset. It's just a different process, right?
It's just a different process.
Because that asset is theirs.
Yeah.
You know, again, John says, yeah, I'll give you as much money you want, you know, and he tells you how many points he's going to take. But he knows until you pay him off, he owns that asset.
Yeah.
So he approves that asset. So you would approve the asset. You know it's worth X. Mm-hmm. The loan, they don't keep the loan. It goes bad. So you made whatever you made off of that first payments they made until it went bad. Mm-hmm. But now you have the asset that could offset whatever's balance.
Absolutely. But from a banking perspective, we're not in the business to own the real estate.
Right.
Right. So we want that money,
of course,
that's coming in, those interest payments, right? But I think for me, the next step would be ownership of a mortgage bank, whether I'm doing more private lending and securitizing, or I'm doing what I'm doing right now. And 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna stay probably in the lane that I'm doing now, which just not originating, but helping the first time home buyer, helping the investors, and lending that capital and selling that money in the back into like Fannie Mae and things of that nature, right? But being the face, because how many black mortgage bank owners do you really know or see out there? Right. The majority of it is the white boys club. Yeah. Right. So for me, I think when you talk banks and mortgages, there's still a small percentage of our community that even understands that are homeowners, bro. No, exactly. I don't think we have 50% of us. Well, Hispanic is at 25%. Hispanic is 50%, and black people 42% own their homes, right? But if you compare it to white people, it's about 69% of their community. No, I'm sorry, 74% of their community own homes, right? So we have a long way to go when it comes to it. So that's why for me, that wealth gap is so wide. I don't really have to go. That's where the business is for you too. That's where the business is for me too, because of the gap is so wide. So that's why this is very important for me being out here in a public space,
Sure.
getting the word out, educating, because the more educated my consumer is, the easier it is for me to close those deals.
Those are my
Right.
words for Adventure Music.
Yeah.
There was a Charles Schwab commercial, and I jacked his slogan, which was educated consumer is our
Yep.
best customer.
Absolutely. And that's
So
a
the more-
fact, though.
It's absolutely a
fact.
fact. And the more I teach about
Except
the
in the
music
car business.
industry, about being independent, the better it is for Adventure Music. And that's why we do the podcast, to kind of get the education part out.
And that's why I do what I do every single day and put out content, is
Yeah.
because if I educate the masses at scale, if I just keep putting out, when they come to me now, they know. And now
You
when
know
my
the questions to ask.
they know
understand.
everything already, because they're locked into my YouTube channel. They locked into Earn Your Leisure. They know what's going on. So
Sure.
now when they come in the pipeline, it's smooth sailing, because their expectations are set properly. Versus when you're dealing with an uneducated borrower, it's pain in the ass, because now you're dealing with emotions.
Yeah.
You're dealing with, they're unprepared.
They're thinking you're robbing them.
They're thinking everything
yeah,
under the blue
yeah.
sun. They don't trust everybody that's working for them, but they don't trust themselves.
Right.
And they're making it difficult for the professionals to do what they got to do. So again, the most educated borrower is the best customer for me, and being a black bank owner in the future is now my goal, because now it's more of a legacy play for me. It's more so now, how can I inspire more people? Because I can't tell you how many people come to me saying they got their license because of me.
Right.
And my content. So now how do I inspire them at the highest level? Now when I document my journey of going from running a division to owning my own, and now they coming behind me, now I can teach them how to do the same thing.
Exactly.
And in 10, 15, 20 years, now we have so many more black and brown owners in the space where we need that representation. Ready. And you even
So,
have
but 18 is the minimum age to qualify for a mortgage.
18 is the minimum age. And then even out of college, right?
So you
Like,
get a mortgage before you can get a drink.
basically. basically.
You can
That
fight for your
sink in.
country.
You can fight for your country.
Yeah,
if you get a drink.
Yeah, yeah.
Why not be
the
able to? Why not be able to build wealth?
Yeah,
But
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
teenagers are getting to it right now.
Nah, yeah, definitely.
Information technology era, man. They're not playing around. And if your parents set you up right, you know, you'll be able to get it.
Right.
You know, it happens.
Man, I'm telling you, you got me, my wheels spinning, but I think you covered everything for me, man.
I think this was a great
appreciate it.
conversation.
It was a great conversation. I appreciate your time and everything coming in.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
bro.
Safe
I
travels.
appreciate y'all.
Safe travels.
y'all,
Thank you
man.
for
Thank y'all
everything.
for having
And
me,
I'll
man.
be at y'all next event whenever I can. You know
Yes,
that. I'll
yes.
pull up.
InvestFest coming soon
Invest Fest. Is that in Atlanta?
in Atlanta.
Yeah, that's great.
Atlanta. I think I'll tell a date. It's a weekend of
We gotta swing out. We gotta get out there.
weekend of August 25th.
But I'm gonna tell Troy and Rashad, if they don't put me on again, I'm gonna boycott their ass.
Nah, it's not happening.
Boycott Sal.
Nah.
Sal's Pizza.
Nah, we're gonna figure that out. We're gonna definitely figure that out.
Yeah, but man, again, congratulations on
Thank
all
you.
your success. Keep it going, man.
Thank you.
Anything I could do, I'm here, and I want to again just keep pushing culture forward, man.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it.
Let's do it, man. Big Queens in the building.
Big Queens in the
Definitely.
building.
Let's go.
I want to thank everyone for joining us here. This is Chris Gotti Lorenzo. Keep liking, sharing, subscribing, and sharing these.
Leave them comments.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate everything. Don't forget the merch store. Get your merch.
Get the merch.
You know what I'm saying? My partner Don Dinero.
You already know, Mr. Money for the Gringos. Que hola.
And Matt, thank you again,
Thank
man.
you, guys.
We out.
I appreciate
Keep
it.
in the business.
Peace.